Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Edith and I like to read books and yap about them to you guys. And to start this video off, I need to be honest. First of all, I think I mentioned it at the end of my last video, which also didn't turn out as planned. But the plan with this week's video was to try and read the last of my fall TBR. However, it's been 3 days now of trying to film this video. First, I somehow completely forgot to focus on the reading, so I ended up deleting a bunch of clips and then started over. Then, I realized I don't want to read any of the books on my fall TBR. I do want to read Lightlark, but I'm waiting to get the audiobook for that. So we're pushing that to the side. The two others, I just don't want to read right now. So, instead of doing any of that, we're just going to do a quick little reading vlog. It's not even gonna be a week of reading because I don't have a week. This video has to be up in a week. But I thought we could just do a reading vlog. You know what? Like, it's technically gonna be the fall reading challenge, but I don't want to call it that because I'm not gonna be like picking prompts. I'm just gonna be mood reading, but mood reading fitting into prompt from the fall reading challenge. I don't want to do a lot of explaining. I just want to jump straight into it with Hopeless by Elsie Silver. I'm trying to download it because it's on Kindle Unlimited, so I can also read it on my Kindle. And later today, in like a couple hours, my book club is coming over for a little Halloween party get-together sort of thing. So I don't know how much reading I'm gonna get done today, but I do have to get a little bit of reading done today. So the minute I get it on my Kindle, we're opening it and we're gonna read at least the first chapter today. So let's just get right into a couple days, a week-ish of mood reading with me. Alright, as you can probably tell by that last clip, we finished Hopeless by Elsie Silver, which means we have now finished the Chestnut Spring series. That is 2 Elsie Silver series, by the way. This year alone I have finished. I should have checked before this. Give me a second. Alright, I just checked. I have officially read 8 Elsie Silver books this year alone. That means I read basically the entire Chestnut Springs and Rose Hill series. And next year we're gonna get a totally new series, and I might go back and read her first series. But about this book, yeah, I don't know if I said it in the start, the thing with like, because in my 12-hour readathon I was like, I need to read more romances that other people don't like. Yeah, unfortunately, I think there's a reason people, not that I have seen people love this, but I have also seen a lot of people say it's their least favorite in the series. And I probably would agree. It's either this or Reckless, but I think this. I'm gonna give this a 3 stars, which is still a good rating. It was a great book. I had a fun time. I did binge it in like a day. We're gonna say I binged it in a day because I read like 2 chapters yesterday. So that doesn't really count. And that is just what Elsie Silver is. Like, I feel like I binge all of her books so quickly, and like I enjoy all of them. Even this one that I didn't love. I enjoyed it. I feel like we got 60% into it and I have just started feeling like I wanted it to end. And then there was a little bit of conflict at one point where I was like, this? Like, it literally felt like it was just squeezed in there just to give them something to fight about. And that really confused me. Because I feel like we could have had like a little conflict that would have actually made sense, but because it needed to be a bigger conflict, she added something into the plot that there had been like nothing pointing towards. And I feel like that like I was already feeling like not connected enough to the characters. There's some scenes that I was like, why am I reading this right now? If you know, you know. And that just kind of solidified it for me. That thing, I was like, maybe it's a 3.5, and then that thing happened and I was like, no, it's a 3 stars. But I'm still very happy to be done with the Chestnut Spring series. Yeah. I just don't think this was my favorite book ever. I enjoyed it because it's Elsie Silver and I like her writing and I like the world. But there was so much stuff missing. Both of these characters had something deeply traumatic and I don't feel like we really went into that stuff. Like Bo has PTSD from the military and I don't feel like we heard a lot about it. We heard a little bit, like he would wake up a specific time every single night and then she found out and she started waking him up before then and like went swimming with him so he wouldn't get to that point. But I still feel like there could have been a bigger focus on that. And then there was everything with her and her family. Again, not that I wanted it resolved because I don't think it's a thing you can resolve, but for her sake, I feel like she needed more. She had like one moment where she told them off, but they didn't react. They just left and like laughed it off. And I was like, I needed more. Like I needed them to see them actually work through some of this stuff, maybe even with a therapist. And there's a bunch of jokes about therapy in this one, but not a single one of them actually thought about going to therapy for this traumatic stuff they were going through. Yeah. So all in all, a 3 stars. And a 3 stars might actually be a little bit, yeah. Unfortunately, it's Elsie Silver, so therefore I cannot get myself to rate it any lower than 3 stars, but I wouldn't want to reread it if I reread the series. I wouldn't want to recommend it. I would still recommend the entire series. I would recommend you finish it because this is also a nice little like finishing off of that and an introduction into the Rose Hill series. If you aren't like me, the only reason I read the Rose Hill series before finishing this was because Wild Side was a book club pick and all of a sudden I was like, wait, but then I need to read the entire series. So it's a nice little ending, but nothing more than that. With that said, I have no idea what our next book is going to be. Yeah, so that's going to be a surprise for both of us, and we're just going to see what happens. I'm going to film up the next time I pick up a book, and then we'll see what it is. All right, it is in fact the very next day, and I have read a little bit. I started this last night, and I am now 13% into it, and I am thoroughly enjoying it, I might say. I am probably gonna keep reading for the rest of the day, honestly. Maybe I'll do some creative stuff, but that's gonna be in the next video, or a little Christmas video. With that said, we're gonna do a little Christmas haul. I know some people are gonna be mad at this, but maybe I'll call the video something like transitioning from fall to Christmas sort of stuff. First of all, the bag. Me and my grandma were out at this mall to eat some lunch to celebrate the fact that I got a job, and then we're walking down towards one of the stores, and outside of the store, because the mall itself changed names, so they're celebrating that. There was this guy, I inserted a little clip of it, with this like wheel, spinning wheel, and you could win, and I won a bag, and in the bag there was this tea. It's a spicy chai with matcha, and honestly, I think we need to try this later tonight. But it's just tea bags like that. Honestly, that smells really Christmassy, but you know, we won that. And then we went to 2 different stores, and in one of them I just got this little guy. I don't know why. I looked at him and I was like, he was pretty cheap too. So like, why not? And then, oh yeah, I also won this. Not gonna use this, but I have it now. And then in the other store, we bought a bunch of different stuff. That's just a water. I bought this little diamond art, which it's like an easy one. It has these very big diamonds, but I just thought this was the cutest out of all of them. And then my grandma bought me this set with a bunch of Christmas I don't know what the name is I'm looking for. A bunch of like creative Christmas stuff, so you can make all of this on here, and there's some stickers and everything. And then this little advent calendar, but it's like you scratch it out and then you can win money. And my grandma always buys these for all the adults in our family, and then we get to pick one. This calendar, is this an advent candle? I don't know what we actually call this translated, but you know, you burn it down. It says 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down to 24. And I have a stand for it. That's a Christmas tree. And I like the thin ones because that way I'm sure that I can burn it all down during December. Normally we like a thick one. I saw one that was like this thick and this tall, and I was like, that's never gonna burn down. So then I got just some silk. Why are words just escaping me? Basically, I want to do the little bows on the cabinets in the kitchen. I did last year, did one of them. I can do a picture here on one of my Taylor Swift posters in my room, and I kind of want to do it again, but also on the cabinets in the kitchen because I can do whatever I want. And then this little thing, which should light up. Let's check. It does. You can't see it right now, but I guess when it's like lighter out. But it's a post office for like a Christmas village. I've been thinking about doing a Christmas village. That was my first idea. And then I saw this, and my granddad used to like work at a post office, and my mom and my grandma has this like red mailbox that they put on their Christmas trees for him. He passed away. And I was like, you know what? This is just too cute to pass up. And it was very cheap. So that's my haul of everything I got. And I am very happy about it all. Let me pack some of this stuff away again. Yeah. Very exciting, very good, very happy. Basically, let's talk about this while I pack some stuff away here. Unwanted is about, it's like a mix between a romance and like a crime, or like a thriller type book. And basically we do get a bunch of like different POVs, but the romance is going to be in between this guy called Lucas, who has lived all of his life in the middle of nowhere in the woods, and this like wildlife guide she gets asked to help on this murder case where he's kind of a suspect because some people were killed with a bow and arrow, and he lives in the middle of the woods alone with bow and arrow. And so far it's really interesting. I'm not sure how much I'm gonna enjoy the fact that we're switching between POVs, because I thought it would be a little bit more romance heavy, so a little bit more just the female main character and the main male character. But we'll wait and see what happens and how that progresses. I'm gonna take this down, and I have really greasy hair, so I don't want you guys to see it, but I'm gonna do that, and then we're gonna lay here for the rest of the day and read, because now I'm tired. I did the dishes, cleaned up, took some trash down, including my pumpkin because it was starting to rot inside my house, and one of the extra chairs I had up here. And then I got creative, which is for next week's video, so you're gonna have to wait and watch that. But I got my groceries and I thought we'd do a grocery haul. Yeah, I haven't read anything today yet, but after being creative for a little bit longer, we're gonna be reading. So let's just take this from the top. Greek yogurt, mozzarella cheese, and parsley pesto. The best thing ever. I've never actually tried store or like bought like this, but I'm excited about that. And these potato, like a finished thing, which is what I need some of the cheese for. Then we have this bacon, 2-pack of bacon, and this huge box of chicken, which was on sale. So this entire thing of chicken was the same price as like 2 fillets of salmon, and you know how expensive salmon can be. Cottage cheese and eggs because I'm running out of eggs. But from the frozen stuff, I don't know how I'm gonna get all of this to fit. Maybe we'll make one of the frozen things for lunch. But I bought this big pack with 2 frozen pizzas in it because it's just quick and easy, and I have a feeling I'm just gonna need quick and easy things. I actually don't know what these are called in English, but if you're a Dane, you know what this is. And yes, it's a Christmas treat, I don't care. And then the thing I think we're gonna make for lunch is this pie. I have no idea what oh yeah, it says right there, a leek tart. I'm gonna make that for lunch, I think, because then I don't need to fight with getting it to fit into my freezer. Then we have these different vegetable fries. We have this little mix of frozen vegetables, which is peas, corn, and some red pepper. And then a little soup. That sounds like glass. I know it's not, but that was insane. Scared me. It's chicken soup and garlic bread, obviously. And then we have a little bit of mix of dry ingredients and snacks. We have, or not just dry ingredients apparently, we have these Be Ready Nutella sort of snacks. Powdered sugar, which we have been needing and it's very important to have. Chopped tomatoes, and then we have 2 of these oat, like creamers, but not the oat creamer for my coffee, but oat creamer instead of like heavy or like cream for like pasta dishes and stuff like that. You can see in the picture. And I love these. They've gotten a new look, but I think it's because they went down in fat percentages, which is why that's on there. And then huge thing of spaghetti because I didn't want to buy a lot of pasta, so we just bought a big one of those. And last bag, there's actually nothing in here. We have some parsley for a little bit of pasta, and these carrots. Why do some of them look like they've literally been bitten? Whatever. So I'm going to pack all this away, put the pie in the oven, finish off my little things for next video, clean up after that because that's taking up my entire dining room table, eat, and then we're gonna get cozy and read for a little bit until I have to meet my mom for a walk. Alright, this is actually me a few days later than this clip, in the middle of this vlog and editing the vlog, and I think I spent a lot of time yapping just to come to like a simple conclusion. So let me just make it really quick and easy here. I DNF'd unwanted. It wasn't what I was expecting. I don't think it was a bad book, but if it's not what you're expecting, and that can be kind of a letdown, so I ended up DNFing that. And then Light Lark, actually, I did get the audiobook. I do have the audiobook right now, but I wasn't in the mood for it, so I might not get to that in this video at all. And then, as you can see in a future clip, I decided to, well, I didn't show that, but I took out the little thing, and then I was like, let us just find a book. So I ended up reading The Cotton Candy Massacre Part 2, which I have all the clips of. I have my full thoughts, all that stuff. So I just wanted to quickly explain it because I think what I just explained to you guys took me 20 minutes of filming to explain, and it is this simple. I DNF'd a book, decided to not listen to Light Lark right now, and then read the next book in the video. Alright, the lighting is not great because it's cloudy outside and it's about to be 4 p.m. So yeah, the lighting is shit and I don't want to turn on any light yet. I have about an hour left of this book and I'm like 65 all the way around. 56% through it, and I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm definitely slowly remembering why I loved the first book. I will say, it's not for like the great writing that I love it. There are some places where there's a little bit of spelling errors, which should annoy me more than it does, but for some reason it just doesn't annoy me that much. Some of the writing is a little bit confusing, but I feel like it's because it's like simplified to the point where it's a little bit too simple, if that makes any sense. But I'm still really much enjoying this, not as much as I did with the first one, but enough that I'm gonna like finish the last hour right now. It's good. Like I said, it is literally like Terrifier. Nobody loves at least the first Terrifier movie because it's like the best movie ever and great quality and great acting. No, it is like, it's bad and tacky, but somehow that's what makes it good. And it's the same thing with this one. But check your trigger warnings. If you don't like gory horror movies, you're not gonna like this because while it's not like a movie, so you don't see it, but trust me, if you're someone who sees things when reading books, this is descriptive enough that you will see it. So yeah, that was my little update. I'm enjoying it, not as much as the first one, but I am remembering why I really loved the first one. Okay, it is now 5 p.m. Excuse my hair and everything, but I have had yet another lying on the couch day. My final lying on the couch day for a while. And I finished the book. I think I'm gonna give it like a 4 stars. Does it deserve a 4 star? Probably not. But like, the first book is so special to me, and therefore this book is kind of special to me. I will 100% be reading part 3 when I got the money to buy it. But yeah, I don't have that much more to say than what I said in the halfway mark because it kind of kept going like that, reminding me why I love the first one so much. It's corny, it's a little bit shitty, it's dark, it's bloody, it's everything I would like in a shitty low budget horror movie, but in book form. Yeah, I actually don't think we're gonna say much more about that, also because it's the second book in the series. But if you don't know, the Cotton Candy Massacre, I've also gone over what that's about a few times in videos, but There's this amusement park, and then the owner of the amusement park dies by being put into a cotton candy machine. And then a few years later, this other woman wants to open the amusement park back up, but make it like themed around the fact that this guy died. And she serves up cotton candy made with the cotton candy machine that killed the previous owner. And if you eat that cotton candy, you turn into a killer clown. And in this one, we basically followed a specific clown from the first one, or you followed like a group of people trying to find her and like save her with the cure. So I would 100% recommend that you guys go read the first one if you like Terrifier, like the same vibes as Terrifier. If you like a gory, low budget slasher film, go read the first one. And if you enjoyed the first one, I would read the second one. But I don't want you guys to go into it expecting like a great literary piece, because it is not that. Yeah. So I really enjoyed this, and I have no idea what I'm gonna read now. We're back where we were earlier today with me not knowing. I listened to no audiobook, but I think I said that at some point that I'm not in the mood for fantasy. I'm not in the mood for an audiobook. So I'm definitely not in the mood for a fantasy audiobook. So far in this video of books we've actually finished. We finished Hopeless by Elsie Silver, and I put that down as a book that made me cry because it made me cry for a little bit. And now we have finished this one for Set in the Forest or Woods, which was what the Unwanted was supposed to be. So we still finished that prompt even though we DNF'd that book. I wanted to see potentially which one we would pull if we were to pull one from here. Vampires, Witches, or Ghosts. The thing is, I know which book I'm going to read for this, and I don't own it yet. So, not doing that one. Okay. Cozy Scene or Cozy Cover. That's kind of funny that I dragged those out of there. Both of those have Christmas movies set for them. Christmas movies, Christmas books. A debut novel. I think we need to find a debut novel and read that next. I was kind of thinking of looking up this author, but his books aren't on Kindle Unlimited, so I'll have to look a little bit into debut novels and then decide on one. But our next book is going to be a debut novel, and I don't promise that this is a book we're going to finish in this video, but I'm going to try and see what I can find. Good morning, people. It is the next day. In case you were wondering. Yeah, it's the next day. I don't know why I had to pause and think if I was correct. You guys just saw me make my bed. Before that, I did the dishes, folded up my blankets, and like took all of the creative stuff and put it away because my dad is coming over later today. basically, I think I already read over it, but I feel like I need to go over it again, also for my own sake. At like 1:30, which right now it is 9:30. 10, 11, 12. So there's like 4 hours left. Well, in 4 hours, I have this little job thing. It's an online meeting. I'm sitting here ready for the meeting at 1. And I now see that it was yesterday. That's generally how I feel right now. But the only thing I need to do before then is just take down some trash, because then at 2:30, an hour after the meeting, my dad's coming over and we're just gonna have a little cozy evening. We were supposed to go on a walk, but it's very rainy outside today, so maybe we won't do that. Maybe we will, and we'll just say screw it in the rain. And then, exciting, my dad coming over, also really, really exciting. But the most exciting thing tonight, me and my friend are going to an event. Not like a big influencer event that I was invited to, but the local bookstore in Copenhagen is having this reading after dark event. I'm pretty sure it's just called After Dark, where basically they're keeping the store open, but not really, because there were like 50 people. They have 50 tickets, and my friend bought 2 and texted me. Actually, let's get into the story. I woke up one morning and saw that they had posted the day before that they were selling tickets for this thing, and I was like, oh, too bad, you know, only 50 tickets. They're probably not on sale anymore. And I sent it to my mom and I was like, I'm so upset about this. And then I checked my phone later in the day, and my friend, I don't know why I didn't see it the first time, but my friend had sent me the like thing the day before. And I was like, yeah, I saw that, but I don't think we can get tickets. And she was like, no, I bought 2 tickets last night, and if you're not going, I'm just gonna have to force my boyfriend to go. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going. 100% I am going. So it's basically, it starts at 7:15 with a little sale on some of the books. I need to see if I can get Good Spirits on sale, because if I can't get it on sale, then I'm probably not going to get it, and I'm probably not going to read it. But if I can get it on sale, I am 100% getting it. And then it's basically just like 45 minutes of that, and then at 8 they turn off the lights and turn on some like candle lights and stuff like that, and then we're just supposed to read for the entire night with some, not from night to morning, but like for a piece of the night. We're gonna be reading until like 11:30 p.m. or something. And well, you can go home whenever you want, so we're not sure how long we're going to stay, but like you get to sit down and read in the dark with like the candle lit, and they're gonna make hot cocoa and snacks and stuff like that, and it just sounds so perfect. And that also means we had to pick our new book, and like I said yesterday, it had to be a debut novel. If you've been here throughout some of my fall reads, you know early in the fall I did a video of me reading Heather McLeary's favorite books, and in that I read Grey After Dark, my favorite thriller of all time, after that video, by the way. And I was like, you know what, let me just check if that author's debut novel is on Kindle Unlimited, and it is. It's The Thicket by Nicole W. I actually saw her say how she's supposed to pronounce it yesterday, and now I forgot completely. But it's by that author. I also commented on her TikTok because I wanted to be sure that this was her debut novel. I haven't checked if she's answered that, but we're gonna be reading this and calling it a debut novel because according to Google, it's a debut novel. And it takes place at a Halloween, like, amusement park sort of thing. And isn't that just perfect to be reading? We're gonna start it at some point today and then keep reading it tonight at that event. And I just thought it sounded perfect. I don't remember if this one is also based on real events, because like most of her books are apparently based on like real events, and that scares me. That's our plans for today. First off, however, I'm going to check how much it's raining, and if it's not like pouring rain, we're gonna take the trash down, and then I'm gonna sit my ass right back on this couch and couch rock for a little bit more. Until the entire job thing. I also need to figure out breakfast, but I might just cook some pasta or something. I am exhausted, in case you can't tell, but I just made it home and I thought we could do an outro for this video. I know I mentioned a little bit about what I'm doing tomorrow, but it's not really anything big that I feel like you guys need to come along to. So after the outro, I will insert a few little clips of what TOD Garden ended up looking like at Halloween. But I think that's really the only thing you guys might miss out on. So, for this video, we only ended up finishing 2 books. Am I right about that? We read Hopeless, first of all, as a book that made me cry, and finished off a series with Elsie Silver's entire thing. And then we tried to read Unwanted, and unfortunately I DNF'd that. But instead of that one, we read Cotton Candy Massacre Part 2s. And we read that for It Takes Place in the Forest or Woods. Oh yeah, the Elsie Silver one we gave 3 stars, and I do think it would have been a lower rated book if it wasn't an Elsie Silver book. And then a DNF, and then we had a 4 stars with the Cotton Candy Massacre. And then I tried to read the thriller I said earlier I was gonna read, and I'm not in the mood for a thriller. I think I was trying to read that one specifically because it's Halloween tomorrow and I want to read a thriller, but my brain is already on Christmas and therefore it's not focused on scary movies. So while I was at the event, which we'll get into all of that after this little outro about the books, I read the first 2 chapters of, drumroll please, Off to the Races by Elsie Silver, because that is her debut novel and that was just what I was in the mood for of all the books I looked at. And I'm not going to include anything about that book in the video, just know that is my next read. And once I finish that, we will in fact be moving into the Christmas books. And speaking of Christmas books, let's just get into the event tonight. Oh, there's the moon. I was looking for the moon when I was walking home, but I couldn't like see it from where I was walking. Basically, we got there, me and my friend, we were both so tired. And I was wearing like this big winter coat, and there's 50 people in this bookstore. So it took me 2 seconds, and then I was sweating and uncomfortable, overstimulated, and my head hurt. But I was like, you know what? We're gonna push through because ultimately we're gonna sit down and read. But I think we spent over an hour just like browsing and looking around. And I found the book that I came for, which was Good Spirits by B.K. Borson. I have actually not read any other B.K. Borson books. I haven't read The First Time Caller. I haven't read her other Christmas book, which is the Love Light Farms. But I got this one with the sprayed edges. Not because I love them or anything, but they only had the sprayed edges version and it cost the same. So this was the book I came for and I got it. I was so excited that they had it, and this might be one of my first Christmas books because it's kind of giving, you know, like it's giving a mix between a Halloween read and a Christmas read, and I'm very excited. I have no idea what this is about except for like a ghost, and he's a ghost and then she like falls in love with him. And then my friend, very kind friend who bought the tickets for tonight as a gift, she was like, okay, you can also pick one book and I will buy that one as a gift. And I was looking around and I was like, I honestly don't know what I really want. I looked at a few. First of all, I looked at the hardback version of, I forgot the name, the one everybody's talking about right now, the 1,000-page book that used to be a Hermione fanfic and is now like a Handmaid's Tale retelling. Alchemized. I looked at that one, but if I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, I don't think I'm ever gonna read Alchemized. I was thinking about it. There was also the paperback with sprayed edges, and it is gorgeous, but I don't think I am going to read it, and therefore I didn't want to buy that one. So after looking around for a while, I was reminded of a book that I was looking at the other day, which is Twilight, the 20th anniversary edition with the sprayed edges. And so the lion fell in love with the lamb, and I had already looked at this once, but I didn't buy it because it was on my Christmas list and I didn't want to spend money on it. But I sneakily checked if it was available on my Christmas list, and nobody had like reserved it or anything, so nobody bought it for me yet. And then I just hurried up and deleted it, and then she bought it for me. Look at that. Cute. And this one, I probably think this is my favorite of all, everybody, with the little fox town sign and the forests. And I read Twilight for the first time last year, but the movies have always been some of my favorite movies. And therefore I just needed this, even though I might never read the rest of the series and I might never reread this book. Just, this is my first ever trophy book, like a book I have bought or I've gotten other people to buy for me, just to have it as a trophy because it is simply gorgeous. So those are the only 2 books I did end up getting, or like, yeah, but it was very fun. We read for like an hour, I think, after we had browsed for an hour. Like I said, got a little bit into this and I think I'm gonna enjoy it. And then I finished a chapter and I put it away, and then my friend finished her chapter and she looked at me and she was like, I think I'm gonna go home. She also has an exam tomorrow, so she's even more excused for wanting to go home to bed earlier. I don't have an excuse other than the fact that I'm an introvert who gets tired from like nothing. So I'm gonna grab my Kindle phone and stuff like that and I'm gonna go to bed. But with that said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this kind of weird vlog slash reading vlog, last days of fall, even though it isn't the last days of fall, but it's the last fall vlog for me for this time. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you got a little bit of fall vibes for it, or, you know, or just enjoyed seeing me read the few books that I did read. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give it a like, comment, and subscribe. And while you're down there, turn on your bell notifications so you get notified next Saturday when I post my first Christmas video, because I'm so excited about these Christmas videos. And if you want to see more content in like November and December about how I'm gonna end up trying to balance enjoying the season while also working, let me know that down below as well. And with that said, I'm going to let you all go and I will see you all next Saturday. Bye.